One. Hey everyone, welcome to Filmmaker Mike and the boys. This is the Mandalorian Chapter 12 review, and it's appropriately titled The Siege. Joining me tonight is Sequestered Jester.
Hello, everyone. I phased out.
Did you try to do like a late entrance?
Yeah. Okay.
And then we've also got Kuya.
Hey, how you doing?
And Pinhead.
Hey, what's up?
Alrighty. So this is our fourth Mandalorian chapter review for season 2, technically. Yeah.
Yes.
And this will be our
Puppy.
second episode to go to YouTube.
Ooh,
Yeah.
we're fancy. We're
We're fancy now. We're on YouTube. So
We're on YouTube now. That's
I
why
got lights
look-
on.
there we go. Everyone can see our faces now. Well, except for
Well,
the ninja.
except-
Except for the ninja over there.
Yeah, well,
The cart heart ninja right there.
Far from it, gentlemen.
Reminds me of instead, because the Night Sisters, when they had in the one of the episodes of the Clone Wars, they attacked Count Dooku, and they were like in their like ninja gear. But
Oh yeah.
you'd be a night
So-
diva or night brother.
So you're calling him her sister?
I know I'm Ninja Cupcake. That's what I like to go by these
Sequestered
days.
There you go.
Ventress
You know?
right there.
Ninja
yeah, you
Cupcake.
definitely look like a bargain bin ninja Gaiden. For sure.
And then you leave a trail of sprinkles everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
I'll be like
Alrighty.
Salt Bay. I'll be like Salt Bay, but with a mask.
Yeah, pretty much. Alrighty, well, it's good to have you back. And now we are going to be discussing for this episode, Chapter 12, entitled The Siege. It's directed by Carl Weathers with a running time of 39 minutes. And I guess we'll start off right at the bat. It was a pretty action-packed episode. When you compare it to the last chapter, which was already pretty badass, this one just takes the action even further. And again, at 39 minutes, you'd think that that's not a lot of time, but my goodness, they pack in so much in a short amount of time. And I had a blast watching this episode, this chapter. Again, it's directed by Carl Weathers, and of course, right off the bat, I was surprised that when we begin, because from the last chapter, they basically jumped to hyperspace, and Mando told Baby Yoda, "I know where I'm taking you now." And they basically jumped to hyperspace. So I figured he would jump to hyperspace to the planet where Ahsoka would be. But then when we begin the chapter, the ship stalled, or pretty much like they're just like floating on by, and we have a little daddy and son moment. Like,
Yeah, except he's not getting yelled at though. That's the difference.
yeah, he's not getting yelled at, and he's not holding a flashlight.
And the dad's not getting shocked or like maimed or anything. It was
Right.
the opposite. So
Yeah, so that's the thing I didn't. What, did he fall out of a hyperspace or something? That's probably what I assume happened.
I think
right?
they're just fixing something. That's pretty much what it was. I don't think they fell off of the hyper. They could have turned it off or whatever.
Right,
Okay, that makes sense.
possibly.
So
Yeah, but I actually would have wanted to see like them getting out of the jump of hyperspace, just because like the last, from the last chapter, jump to hyperspace, then at least like show me what happened. Like why are they at a standstill? Like, but then
Right.
obviously I guess it is answered because they're doing some repairs, and Baby Yoda fits into that little like tiny compartment. I don't know how Mando would be able to fix it by himself without Baby Yoda's tiny expertise. So that was pretty funny when, of course, we knew the inevitable was that he gets shocked. So anyway, we jump forward to when also I do want to mention when after Baby Yoda shorts out the wires and they're drinking like broth or something, Mando doesn't even take off his helmet in front of Baby Yoda.
Well, they kind of because we were asking that like what last episode when he was in the little bed, and we're like,
Right.
oh, I kind of wonder if he takes off his helmet in front of the kid, and they kind of answered it with this one because he was kind of really curious and he was like trying to look up like, oh,
Right.
is
And-
he, yeah,
and I noticed. So remember last chapter when when Mando got set up by the Quarrens in that trap on the boat. When Mando dove after Baby Yoda to try to save him, he tried to come up for air. And then when we were introduced to Bo-Katan and the other Mandos, when they lift their helmet, you hear like the pressure, like the air pressure, like unlocking from their helmet.
Yeah.
And then we were discussing like, I don't think Mando's helmet is sealed. But then in this, when he's lifting it, you hear the sound, like it's the air pressure. It's like decompressor or whatever you call it. Like you can hear the sound every time he tilted, he lifted it up. So I'm like, what's going on here? Like maybe I don't know, or unless I just didn't hear it clearly in the last chapter.
I swear, I thought he was gurgling last chapter when he was.
Maybe you guys couldn't hear it from all your squealing and shit. So.
Possibly.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Like, oh my god!
I'm so happy right now. Oh my gosh!
Which will be like pretty much the next chapter when Ahsoka Tano is introduced, and I won't hear like the first like lines of dialogue.
Who was
Possibly.
it?
Ahsoka Tano. Well, the next chapter is now directed by Dave Filoni. So,
Possibly.
So we know it's going to. I mean, come on, like it's pretty obvious it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, we'll see.
Unless you still have some other thoughts and comments that you don't think we're gonna see Ahsoka Tano.
I don't know, man. I really don't know. I used to think I knew, but like I said, now I have no clue. I mean, they could totally do a 180 on us, but I doubt it. Like, it is probably correct that next episode with Dave Filoni directing that Ahsoka's his baby. I think he should direct it, so I could see him doing it.
Right. And then, of course, when we head back, we head back to Navarro because the ship is in dire need of repairs. And we figured as much, like he can't get all the way to find Ahsoka without getting that the Razor Crest repaired. We're reintroduced to Cara Dune, who's now Marshall Dune. Yeah, those are pretty cool scene where those gangsters are like robbing or like someone else, or they lost a bet or something.
No, they stole some stuff and then they were counting or dividing it up.
Oh, they stole it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
because that was a species we saw in A New Hope, right? Where like
you touch me. Or like, whatever.
Well, yeah, he was teamed up with that guy, right? Where like, I've got the death sentence on 12 systems, and
he doesn't like you.
Yeah,
I don't like you.
That's the guy.
I don't like you either.
Yep.
Sorry.
Dr. Evazan.
Yeah. So he's the one that gets his. No, he is the one that gets his arm chopped off, right?
Yeah. It was kind of weird. Like, just a couple of them had like red teeth or red things, and the other ones had like, I don't know, maybe the other ones were female or something. I don't know.
It was cool seeing him again, that, and then whatever that ferret thing was that he was
the fire ferret.
because one of them had a burn mark, right?
Yeah, it's the fire ferret.
Yeah,
I think
cool.
like at the end of the chapter, like there was like a concept drawing of the fire ferret like blowing fireballs or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I did enjoy that.
Yeah.
Did Cara Dune like get extra thick?
I mean, sure.
Like she like she got bulky, like like weight.
Yeah, no, that's the thing, because they mentioned last season that she picked up, like when she was picking up Mando, I think it was in chapter 8. Yeah. They were saying that wasn't a dummy, that was an actual guy, like in that, and she picked him up no problem. And then she did the same thing in this chapter where she picks up that guy as he rolls over the top of him, MMA style, and he's getting shot, but she picks him up and then throws him off. So I like, it looks like that was an actual guy too. So she's just bulked up more so much than slimmed down,
to push away the haters, I guess, from on Twitter.
I guess so.
Yeah, I love the kick-ass. Her first move is like an MMA like move, and it was like really cool. And I figured I was explaining to my wife, to Julie, like it must be really cool for the stunt guys and the stunt coordinators to have an actor who knows a lot of stuff like that, because they can easily like get into it. It's not like you're gonna teach them so much, like you're just gonna show them, okay, let's do this, and then they get right into it without having to worry about injury or much. What was that?
Like I heard stunt guys hated Steven Seagal because he kept breaking their arms and shit.
Oh, geez.
Well, he's a dick, dude. Come on, man. Are we seriously gonna compare Dune to her or to what's his name?
Hey, Steven Seagal is like
He was a judo master.
Yeah, he's a master of
that's
Bushido. I
legitimate.
mean Aikido.
Yeah.
He still sucks.
Well, he was good in the 80s, so.
Yeah. I like
the 90s. He wasn't bad.
Early 90s.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like Fat Seagal though.
Yeah,
I like him when he was fat.
All right, so back to the chapter. So as soon as that scene ends, where pretty much the title kicks in, and then we see Mando and Baby Yoda arriving to Navarro, and then of course they greet and basically meet up with Mando, and we're introduced to like a different kind of Navarro where like the people are thriving, the market is like busy.
I know, they got a farmer's market and shit.
Yeah, there's a farmer's market. Get your organic, I know.
I was just like, "Whoa, you want some kombucha?"
Some space kombucha.
Yummy.
So
from green milk.
Well, they mentioned that there is lava on the planet. So if there's lava, the soil around it should be pretty like in Hawaii, like the soil should be very fertile, and like you should be able to get some like really fresh crops and stuff from that. So we pretty much are taken to a school, a little classroom with a protocol droid. I'm not sure who the voice of that protocol droid is, but a lot of people were saying that voice seemed a little too familiar. Just couldn't pinpoint unless
maybe like the end credits should show it.
Yeah, I didn't.
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Right, and have to like look through it again. But then of course Baby Yoda joins the class, and all the kids are like, sure enough, they like look at him like, look at this kid, like.
Yeah, look at the new kid. What a dick.
Yeah, and the kid's like, give me your cookie right now.
Yeah, we're introduced to a headband kid who at first like I thought was like, oh, this is a cool kid of color who's gonna be nice to Baby Yoda when Baby Yoda asks for a green macaroon. It looks like they look like macaroons.
It's like a blue macaroon, right?
Yeah,
but he ends up being like a scene from Napoleon Dynamite. Oh, go find your own.
Go find your own.
And then he's like, I'll have that cookie now. As he force pulls it to himself.
Uses the force. By the way, there is no shortage. Thanks to this chapter, there is even more Baby Yoda memes than ever before. So, which it's just always great because you can never have enough Baby Yoda memes. Yeah, Baby Yoda uses the force, and he basically gets the whole pack. And I'm surprised the kid was just like, just let it go. Like he didn't fight it. Like I thought like a brawl was gonna break out or something.
Well, talking about Baby Yoda, like I gotta applaud the puppeteers, because man, they did a lot of work this chapter, because like even when he was inside in the ship, trying to work on it, like just the effects of when the smoke came and he like coughed, and then it just kind of blew. Like, I don't know, everything around it just seems so real. Like I buy it, instead of the fake. Sometimes they go overboard with the CGI.
Right.
So I don't know. You get this weird attachment to the kid because he's, puppeteered so well.
Oh yeah, and like what we've heard from the set of season 1, that the actors were like so into Baby. I mean, everyone, the cast and the crew, are so into Baby Yoda and treating him like he's real. Oops, spoilers.
Yeah.
So there's also trying to look for the cast really quick. Okay, so then of course we're reintroduced to Mithril, the blue alien guy who Mando captures in the very first chapter, and
Horatio Sands.
Horatio Sands, that's right.
That's the actor.
Yeah, he's a comedian.
From SNL.
A long-time cast member on SNL, and he's appeared on Glow, Black Monday, and Zeroville.
He did the cork suckers.
What?
A bit.
On SNL. Okay.
Yeah.
He just pulled a scene from was it Finding Nemo? Oh, you guys made me ink when he whatever he just I don't know whatever that was. I was like, what the?
He squirted like some kind of mist because he got scared when he saw Mando. I don't want to go back to Carbonite.
Oh gosh.
Okay, so the teacher droid was voiced by, so I guess there's two actors here that are listed. So Chris Bartlett physically played the teacher droid.
Okay.
And then Catherine Elise Drexler voiced her, and she's a post-production coordinator at Lucasfilm.
Yeah, everybody. She's familiar, like some bomb.
Oh my gosh! I don't recognize.
But Star Wars fans. Oh yeah, she sounds familiar.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like from the episode in Rebels, in chapter 14, and 45 seconds in, there was this little voice that said "meh," and that was her.
Well, if you listen closely to the teacher droid, she's talking about the maelstrom that was mentioned or that we've seen in Solo, the spin-off film.
Yeah.
So she was teaching the class about that. But hey, it's pretty cool.
I like that. I like that one.
I'm just surprised because you're like, everybody said it sounds familiar, and I was expecting some big name, and it's just like janitor number 2 somewhere in the back.
Production assistant from
production assistant number 3,
coordinator at Lucasfilm. So that's still a pretty cool perk of the job. I mean, you get to be in a Star Wars show or a movie. I mean, hey, I'll say.
Yeah, and you get to sniff the jock of Kathleen Kennedy. Sure, that's cool.
Oh my god! All right, and then the school kid Daniel Negrete. I guess not much notoriety there yet, but I saw that
he sucks.
on IGN. And I just thought it was hilarious because they were like, they got a GIF. I tried to look for the GIF on Facebook, but I think it's only on Twitter. IGN pretty much tweeted like, "Oh, we hope everyone has a great weekend, except for Headband Kid."
Yeah, you didn't give up your cookies freely, so we're gonna crush you on the internet. That poor kid.
Right, exactly. So of course, Mando again is asked for help. Because of course it's a pretty cool trade-off. It works, and I like that everything is set up where Mando needs help, and they also need Mando's help. So Mando needs a ship repaired, and they also need Mando's help. They pretty much have turned the whole planet around, except for one part, of course, which is the Imperial base that they were looking at, and they pretty much explained if they can destroy that base and make the lava go haywire and destabilize it, then it'll pretty much obliterate the base, and the imps can, get out of there. They won't have a reason to go back. So when they break in, they use Mithril's speeder, and it's explained that Mithril has, it's not a life debt, but it's he owes Greef Karga X amount of years. It's 100+ years.
It was 300. It was 300 and something years, and then he said that the more the episode went on, that he'd shave off 130 years or something like that off his sentence.
Right. Yeah, and I'm surprised.
When he sasses, he'd give him more time if he kept sassing and giving him crap.
Right, yeah. And I'm like, okay, so the species of Mithril can live that long, at least more than that.
That's what I was saying. I was like, okay.
No, they were making jokes about how that's ridiculously long and that's not going to happen. Basically you're going to be here forever.
Right. And, okay. It makes sense.
You're going to work for free.
Pretty much. Yeah. Well, I mean, he said he screwed him over how much in accounting or something like that.
Kind of ironic.
We don't know their lifespan, so we can't be for sure if it was just a joke or not. We don't know their lifespan.
Right. That's true.
Yeah. It's kind of ironic that Carl Weathers is talking about slavery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Oh my gosh, dude!
There's a whole flip universe there.
Yeah, I know. Way to meta, Disney.
Yeah. Oh, hey, I do want to say to Carl Weathers, I really like that he paid so much homage to the other movies and stuff, with shots and screen wipes and there was just so many times where I was, DiCaprio in that pointing meme. I was, oh, hey, I remember that scene looks familiar. You know, like he's using the similar shots, and I really like that. It's
good.
nice to see a director like really pay homage to everything else that's brought this where it is today. You know. So.
Yeah. So I'm trying to see any information on Mithril as far as like,
the species.
yeah.
This is the first time we've seen his species, if I'm correct, right? I could be totally wrong. Probably am.
It's probably in like like Solo or
Actually, no, yeah, this is the
Rogue
first
One
time.
or something. I don't know.
We've never seen Mithril.
Really?
Yeah. Well, okay. So it says episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, but Mandalorian chapter 1 debuted before The Rise of Skywalker. So it's still we still first saw it in The Mandalorian. Yeah, it says appearances also is credited as episode 9 Rise of Skywalker. I'm not seeing anything as far as like life expectancy. But it says here, I thought it was interesting. The Mithril had amphibious traits such as gills and fins on their heads. They had thoraxes, which had to be evacuated and could molt. Young Mithril could produce a sweet musk after molting. Their faces would become barbed. Mithril at a younger age were referred to as fledglings. So I guess that musk that comes out of him is not as sweet anymore because he's not young. He ain't a young buck anymore.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
Fart.
Yeah. So
you get for squirting on the job.
when they break into the base and Mando like looks up, he pretty much jetpacks to the platform, which is pretty high above. And of course, before you know it, a stormtrooper like falls out of nowhere, and then they're trying to break in the turbo lift, and then sure enough, they break into the base, and you can tell that like okay, there's not much going on. You can't see a whole lot of troops, but there's still stuff there. They have the I forgot the name of that armored like tank that they
Imperial transport.
Oh, okay,
right?
yeah. But it's called something else like. And
see something.
Yeah, Mithril mentions like you know how much that would fetch on the black market.
It's the Kenner Imperial Transport toy.
right. And that's why when we saw that in the I think it was towards the end of season 1, like it got everyone excited for those who were like kids back in like 77.
Yeah, seeing it in live action since Rebels, dude. Everyone wet their pants for sure.
Right,
I thought it was cool. And
then before you know it, they break in the base, and then they get to the control panel, and then I thought like it would have been so practical if Mando just jetpacked a little bit over because there was no guardrails, but they have like Greef Karga's like Mithril like yo you go, we'll cover the door. He's like there's no guardrails on this.
Yeah, no, that line made me laugh so hard because it's like it's been a joke that the Empire doesn't like guardrails, and of course they got to put that little platform over the lava with no guardrails. You know, it's just so classic. Oh, there's no guardrails, man. Oh, hurry up, let's go, come on, hurry up. Like I can't tell you how many times he said hurry up.
Right, and then they break in. They try to get out further, and then of course we see these Imperial scientists. Because as soon as they destabilize the base, and they've got pretty much like 10 minutes, the Imperial scientists are already working on like these drives, and one of them tells the other scientists like purge the drive, and then as soon as we see our heroes and they're starting to blast away at them, the other Imperial scientist was like destroy the drive, something like that, like destroy it because there's no
they were shooting the panels, you know, and
right,
just calling it quits before they died.
Yeah, and then of course they try to find out like what is this, and then we see this tank, and we don't get a full close-up shot of it, but there's something in that tank, in that liquid.
There's 4 of them. There's 4 of them, right? 4 tanks.
Right, but then the one that they feature, we don't even get a close-up of it. But from afar, to me, it almost looked like Snoke, or a clone of Snoke, or something like that.
No, I agree. I don't know if they're gonna go that route. That'd be kind of interesting if they did, but I don't know because when they get that recording from the scientists in season 1, he mentions the M count, and then he's ran out. Midichlorian count, I assume.
Yes.
And they're doing some evil scientist stuff where they're injecting them into volunteers, I think is what he said, right? Volunteers, and then it's not working out. So my brain went directly to super soldiers rather than Snoke.
Right.
Yeah,
that that was just my first thought when we saw the image. And then when we see because they demand, like, they tell Mithril, like, who is it, Cara Dune, that tells her, like, show it, or like Greef Karga, who tells him, like, no, like, play the message. And then of course that's Dr. Pershing, who's back from season 1. And then he mentions like the Moff Gideon, like the recording is directed at Moff Gideon. And then Mando is pretty much like, Moff Gideon's dead. And then of course Mithril tells him, well, this recording was just done like 3 days ago. And so that's when, like, they pretty much like got shook, as the kids would say, because now they know, like, all hell will break loose because Moff Gideon is still after them. Then it's one thing if you've got other bounty hunters or other gangs or other characters who are after you, but it's another if Moff Gideon's after you, because we know the threat that he poses. So they pretty much tell Cara Dune tells Mando to jet back to the town, and that they'll handle themselves. And so as soon as they start blasting their way out, they get into that Imperial transport and basically fly it off. So yeah, when they pretty much jump off that platform. Oh, did you want to mention, Kuya, something about blasting away with the stormtroopers?
No, I kind of noticed, again, like, I was this is like a comment that I've had, like, over the years. Like, for such a like big empire, for such a powerful empire that conquered everything, like, these guys are like horrible shots. And I'm sure people that have addressed it already, but like me as a casual person that like knows how to shoot like a gun, like, I can shoot a couple of stormtroopers easily. I can shoot the blue guy and Apollo Creed easily from
Well,
that
see,
kind of cover.
that's what I was going to ask about, that being the novice of the Star Wars. Is that like supposed to be some kind of special canon, or is it a running joke? Because it's pathetic that they, like you said, they rule the Empire, but they have an army of imbeciles that can't fire for anything.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have a couple answers to that.
What nonsense is that?
Okay, so after episodes 4, 5, and 6 got released into theaters, it became a joke, like, that they miss everything. You know what I mean? And then in Rebels, the TV series, when Rex is putting on the armor, he's like, I could barely see out of this thing, and like he says that multiple times, that he could barely see out of the helmet. And so they kind of like made some of it canon right there. But my real answer to that question would be, it's just plot armor. I mean, because they hit Mando all day long, but he's got armor, so that it ricochets, but everybody else, they miss by a mile, so I don't know. That's just kind of my thoughts on it.
And I was just kind of confused. I'm like for a for a bunch of conquerors and all that stuff, these guys like horrible warriors,
It's the army and numbers thing. It's the numbers thing, like the droid army, it was the numbers that overwhelmed everybody. And I assume that the Empire is the same way. It's the numbers that overwhelm.
No, but the droids are better shots than these guys, aren't they? Or are they worse?
I'd say the droids were better shots, I think
yes
so.
And no.
Because if one Gungan can destroy like a whole battalion of droids, you know what I mean? Like, Jiminy Christmas. That's like,
the thing that was
I'm a little confused. Again, there's no knock on anything. I'm just like wondering, like, if if this is like the norm, because like, why would people be so afraid of them if they're horrible shots? I'm like,
well, at this point, they're not. I guess not everyone would be afraid of them anymore, because the Empire is pretty much like all but wiped out. unless except with the exception of a few remnants. But if you remember, I think chapter 7 or chapter 8 in season 1 with the biker scouts when they had when they were waiting.
Yeah, when they were shooting
they were shooting at that thing and they couldn't even, and the biker scouts have better a better helmet where
and then they were blaming the gun, right? Rattling it and all that stuff.
Right.
And then what I noticed was in Rogue One, right? In the movie Rogue One, the guys in the black droid or the black
troopers.
uniforms.
Yeah,
those are way better shots. I was like, whoa, they're actually shooting people. So I'm like, are the guys in the white, the stormtroopers, just a bunch of yokels that have guns and typical Americans or something?
Well, oh my gosh, dude, no. Oh my gosh, get out of here. No, you're right, because even in chapter 6 when he's talking about Bill Burr and he's like, well, he was an Imperial sharpshooter, and Mando's like, well, that's not saying much, and he's like, I wasn't a stormtrooper, wise ass, and it's kind of like the running joke in the universe too.
So the stormtroopers are pretty much let's just say typical American who buy guns in at Carhartt or Cabela's or something like that, and
kind of like you, definitely,
sure. Like me, I don't have any guns.
Yeah, you just said even me, I could shoot a gun better than that.
Oh yeah, I can. I'm sure that I can shoot better guns, than them. I don't even have a gun, but I'm sure I can. I'm a little more accurate than any of them. But
okay, all righty then.
All right. So when they jump off the with the Imperial transport, we know that the Imperial transport is a pretty bulky transport, and before you know it, Cara Dune pretty much guns it out of the platform, which again is a really high off distance from the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got Greef Karga and Mithra who are no, they're screaming and they're fearing for pretty much wetting their pants. And sure enough, Cara Dune lands on Mithril's and he was
that was funny.
My speeder, and she's just shut up, who cares, we're getting out of here.
They did a good job making that feel like a long drop. They did a really good job at that because I kind of clenched a little bit too as it went over.
I love seeing what we saw right after, and it's the biker scouts going down the side of the mountain, and then they look so badass, and you can hear that sound, the biker the speeder bike sound effect. And then two of them, one of them, even runs into each other, boom.
Yeah.
There was a 5-man squad, and then it became 3 because two of them were jackasses.
It was badass until those dudes ran into the rock.
Yeah, I was oh, completely screwed up formation. I
was like, these are the scout troopers I remember from.
They could have captured. They could have captured the transport with 5 of them.
Right.
Seriously.
Right.
But no, it had to be 3. So
and the other guy was like, well, workers' comp won't answer that. We'll prove that.
Well, at least I didn't shoot anybody,
Oh my god.
So yeah, but I do love then pretty much the chase, and I guess it's a huge part of Star Wars when you have an action sequence, especially a chase sequence. So the 3 speeder biker scouts chase after the Cara, Greef, and of course Mithril. And Greef Karga is on the turret of that Imperial transport. And at first I thought that Imperial transport had closed windscreens or windshields, but I guess it's just open. Unless Cara just didn't close it.
No, I thought the same thing too. It's just open.
Yeah, it's just left open. And of course it adds more to the intensity of that. They can just easily fire inside and see them. So Greef Karga is I love the targeting computer because it's the first time we see when, of course, she rams into one on the side of the mountain, and then the other one, I forgot what the other one.
He shot the first one, and then he ran. She rammed the
second one.
The second
one, since they're so fast, they get to catch up to them. The third one, the biker gets on top of it, and Greef Karga's looking around with the turret, and on the targeting computer. For the first time, you see it can scan. Obviously, it would be able to scan anything, but it sees the figure of the biker scout who's about to throw the grenade, and just blows him up. And then as they speed off,
it's
you see the helmet.
he was laughing like a dickhead. I was like, oh, I shot somebody. I was like, wow.
Yeah. So, and then of course, as the base is pretty much like getting destroyed, you've got 4 or 3. I think it's 4 TIE fighters.
It was 4.
Yeah, I think it was 4.
4 TIE fighters that take off. And I don't, if I'm not mistaken, it's in chapter 8 of the first season of Mandalorian that we see a TIE fighter fold its wings, and it's a big deal because we've never seen that before in any of the movies. We always thought like, oh, even in the Force Awakens,
They landed like that.
right, the way they land like that, and for you to get in, you'd have to either have like a hatch open and with a ladder, or like something like, how do you reach? Like it's not like accessible, like you can just hop in. Like for the X-wing, they have a ladder for it. So go ahead.
No. I mean, I was just saying, like, even in the show Rebels, they had to get in the ladder and go up to the top hatch because they just landed straight. So I mean, I'm assuming it's a new upgrade for the Empire that's dead. But it was good seeing the TIE pilots again, man. They were pretty cool with the white or gray marks on the
stripes,
helmet.
Yeah. That was pretty
cool.
But I think,
are they going to upgrade the toys, Mike? You know?
Of course they are. Of course.
I think they're going to upgrade the toys.
Hopefully, that would be cool. I mean, if they can upgrade the TIE fighters in universe, you'd think that they can upgrade the Stormtrooper helmet so that they can see better and shoot better.
Yeah, really.
So, but I guess it is that part of that running joke. So TIE fighters chase after them, and sure enough, like Greef Karga is like shooting on the sides of the mountain to try to see, like, you know, if they can, or he's also trying to chase like the shot of the TIE fighter, and sure enough, he gets one of them, but then it's so fast that it eventually like crashes into them, and he even backs away from the turret because he knows the TIE fighter is like pretty much gonna crash on the transport. And then of course they clear off the mountains pretty much, and they're on open field, and so it's pretty much like hunting season for the TIE fighters. It's never been easier for them to chase after them, and we know that TIE fighters are very fast. I think they're they're even faster than X-wings, so they're pretty lethal as far as like chasing after anyone. So before you know it, of course, as they are about to fire on the Imperial transport, you've got the Razor Crest. There's shots that are fired and blows up one of the TIE fighters, and then of course you see the Razor Crest is back in action. And that was a really fast repair, I gotta say. But of course,
ridiculously.
I mean, it was an even faster jetpack flight. Jesus Christ! Like I was like, what, a span of 5 minutes?
Right.
Like how far did he fly?
Well, that whole distance.
Man, like, you know, like that fast, huh? Interesting.
But then what I'm thinking is how much like fuel, or like it's got to be fuel that he used for that jetpack. So how much like fuel can it store, or like how much time can he burn off? Like, you know, I'm always just curious about that. But that's just
as much as he needs for the episode.
A nerd about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot armor.
And so of course, when that happens, of course, we get some amazing flying scenes of the Razor Crest. I love that he flies up and he chases that TIE fighter, and the TIE fighter is like trying to get away, actually, because when he sees because he's like, whoa, what's this? What ship is that? Like, this is pre-Empire. I don't know what that is. It blew up one of my buddies, so I'm getting out of here. I'm going to the next Imperial base, and Mando chases after him, and I love that when they go up, he shoots him, and he does this move where he switches the brake on, the air brake.
He turned off the engine, I think.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he turned off
like
the
he
engine.
put out like the panels too, you know, to like slow him down, and he like the camera went the opposite way, which is nice. Good cinematography, you know, where he's turning around.
And then he boosts towards the other one, and it's a pretty badass like shot of a standoff, and they're like, he starts spinning, and you see like Baby Yoda's like, he's like racing like a roller coaster. He's eating his macaron, and he's just cheering. He's just loving it. I love it.
So how fast did Mando like fly over there and then pick up the damn kid, and then check out the Razor Crest and fly over? And that was pretty quick, man.
He was rushing. He was just like, we gotta get out of here.
I was just like, man, this guy's good, you know.
Well, once they found out that once he found out that they needed the kid again, he was like, "We're getting the hell off this planet." So
I know, but he had to check out what if the Razor Crest wasn't fixed? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, then everyone would have died probably, and then we wouldn't have the rest of the season.
Yeah, there you go.
It would have stopped at like chapter 4 or chapter,
basically the Mon Calamari last episode, like pretty much, or is it last episode? No, yeah, it was the last episode. Like they didn't fix shit. He's just like, oh, it'll fly, but it won't be much.
One of the worst mechanics in the galaxy, apparently, because
he just strung it up with fishnets and
rope and fishnets, and
they put duct tape, and you're like, oh, you're good to go, man.
Yeah. Good to go. This bad boy will fly. Yeah. He said, Mando asked that Mon Calamari like fuel her up, and then he said, well, if it can hold fuel, like. So, but yeah, that badass shot of Mando like attacking that other TIE fighter. Mando starts spinning and blasting away, and sure enough, this obliterates that TIE fighter. And then of course we've got everyone else, Greef Karga and Kara and Mithril like cheering on, and Greef Karga even offers like a drink for Mando, but Mando's like, that's all right, I gotta get going. So they basically speed off, and then we get a hologram message from one of the mechanics to the
You're skipping a little bit.
Oh, what am I skipping?
You're skipping the part where
that's right.
The two X-wings showed up, the cops of the
just one.
Yeah. But there was two X-wings. We didn't see Filoni.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there's two X-wings landed there, but the only pilot we saw was
right.
What's his name? Filoni wasn't there, and I saw
Carson.
I saw comments that made me laugh. On they're like, "Where is Trapper Wolf? Is he safe? Is he all right?" Because they didn't see him in this episode, but yeah, he tries to re-recruit Cara Dune. I thought that was really interesting. And was that like a badge that he like put down in front of her?
Yeah.
Like, is this cops like?
So I think Cara Dune is like could be like more than just like a like what she said like she was in the rebellion. Maybe she is an officer or something. Yeah.
She said she left because they were just chasing down, or they were just like more like security, and she didn't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
And then, so now that this guy's saying, I wonder if she's going to join the resistance now. Now that he said that.
Wasn't she a shock trooper?
Yeah.
She said she was. She said she was. But it could be more because like that looks like a badge, like something important.
Well, yeah. She said in the last season that she was a rebel shock trooper, and then when they won after the Battle of Endor, they cleaned up some Imperial warlords and stuff like that. But then afterwards, they were more like security for senators and stuff like that. And then she's I'm done. So she left.
Right.
It was like Secret Service or something for the resistance, maybe.
I don't know what, like, because I mean those two X-wing pilots remind me of like Cops TV show. So like I can't tell if that was a badge or if that was like the Imperial shock trooper like signet or something, or it was just like a badge and like, hey, like this is here if you want to join us, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it felt like a calling card pretty much.
Yeah.
Also for her to like think about it, but then she mentions like she lost everyone on Alderaan. So
he said he served before Alderaan, right? Or he was there when Alderaan.
He was part of the rebellion during Alderaan.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. So, all right, and then of
course, and then Greef. Before even that, like Greef was like talking to the guy, and then he was just like giving him just the basics. Well, so what happened when what happened when the TIE fighter came in, and when did the Razor Crest? I didn't say the Razor Crest was here. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he was covering Mando's butt. Yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I know. It was funny. It was just kind of cool. Like people were just looking out for Mando and stuff. So
yeah.
Right, and then of course we get to the mechanic sending a hologram message to the Empire, or we get that shot of that ship. I forgot the name of that ship, but that was in the comics, I think.
It looked like a model again too, which I got super giddy about.
Yes,
they're
it
doing
did.
models again.
Yeah, it looked like a shot right out of A New Hope.
Yeah, I love it. I love it, man.
I'm trying to find
I want more.
the
but I
name
know
of the
I
ship.
should.
But yeah, we get that mechanic. She said the mechanic sends a message to an Imperial officer and tells her that pretty much the homing
The
beacon,
device.
the homing device, has been installed has been planted on the Razor Crest. And the Imperial officer walks over to what looks like a lab in a section in the ship. It opens up, and of course, we've got Moff Gideon, and she tells him the message that we have the Razor Crest, the homing beacon has been planted, and then Moff Gideon says, "Oh, does he still have the asset?" And she confirms it, and so of course now it's going to be easier than ever for them to track down Mando and Baby Yoda. And then, sure enough, as the scene progresses, it zooms out, and we don't get another close up of what looks like armored troopers of some sort.
Yeah, like he smirked too, right? Like he smirked, like he just like he gave that sly smile, like yeah, we're gonna get this son of a bitch.
Right.
We will be ready.
And then like yeah, like it looked like shock troopers, or like not shock troopers, but the death trooper armor.
Well, see, to
Kinda,
me,
but
it
then
looked-
it could be like that the super soldiers that you're talking about, Chester.
well, yeah, no, I'm talking about like because I assume that's what he's doing, but they look like dark troopers from I can't remember what video game, but the dark troopers were
Dark Empire.
yeah, but they were droids, right? And in the video game, they weren't people.
So I'm looking.
Like
It could be droids.
This is from
Well, 'cause
denofgeek.com. It says from denofgeek.com, the Dark Troopers, the Force-sensitive Imperial Commandos introduced in the Dark Empire comics from Dark Horse, or the
Mhm.
half-man, half-machine hybrid soldiers from the Dark Forces video games.
Yeah, there they are.
Oh.
Yep, that's what I'm talking about.
That's the speculation. I was trying to look closely, but some of the armor reminded me of Vader's. Like some of the helmets almost look like a little bit like Vader's helmet, in a sense.
They
but
had
it's
like
hard to tell.
breathing tubes too, on the sides. It looked like
Right.
briefly.
So, and I think that's what they were experimenting on in the lab on Navarro, which are those the dark troopers. So, if you've got
Possibility.
pretty much, because they said they're doing the M count for Baby Yoda. Well, it only seems and this is when everything clicked, of course, for next chapter. If you've got dark troopers who are Force sensitive, you're gonna need a motherfucking Jedi to help you out. Dispatch some motherfuckers with maybe double lightsabers. I don't know, maybe a
No,
Soprano.
you're right. And here's the
So-
thing: I'm curious if Moff Gideon was a volunteer, and if he's Force sensitive too. If we remember that Giancarlo Esposito little spoiler where he talks about how he's pretty good with that lightsaber of his, and like I wonder if we're gonna see that next episode.
I think we will.
Yeah.
Will. There's no way that Hasbro makes that Darksaber role-playing toy and
Yeah.
it's not going to be used in this season. And so I'm thinking that Mando is going to need Ahsoka's help, and eventually, I don't know, maybe we'll see. I don't know if we're going to see Bo-Katan join up as well, but Bo-Katan is focused. But then that's the thing, Bo-Katan wants that Darksaber. So
Right, yeah.
it's all coming up.
It could be everybody plus Ezra, because in the years Ahsoka may have found Ezra already.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe, man. Like that's what I'm saying.
Imagine like two Jedis like working with Mando. Like,
Well, see, this is the other thought that like I don't think is realistic, but those soldiers that we saw briefly, I was curious if they were what were those troopers in Fallen Order again that were like specialists against Jedi? They had the batons and stuff.
I'm trying to remember the name.
Yeah, those guys.
Were they purged?
That could be it.
Purge Troopers, thank you. I was curious if maybe that we're gonna see those in live action, dude. Like in this show, that'd be kind of cool, man. Like, why wouldn't he have those at his disposal?
Right. I mean, anything is free game at this point. But the Dark Troopers, I think, introducing again something new. And then, of course, Hasbro on Mando Mondays would be like, now available for pre-order.
Well, might I remember everyone that we have officially seen everything in the trailer. We have four juicy episodes left of nothing we've seen yet.
It could be part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4 of the same story.
Like an arc? Yeah, it could be like an arc. But I mean, the whole episode is, I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't want to say anything on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's all technically one whole story. So
yeah.
Or maybe next episode will be a Dave Filoni filler. I don't know. Who cares? We're gonna watch it anyways.
There's no way it's gonna be a Dave Filoni filler.
You never know, man.
In J. Ahsoka Tano film, that's what it's gonna be.
Yeah, probably. I lost already.
But then, yeah, I mean, as soon as like the whole like, Purge Troopers and like they're gonna be force sensitive or like they're gonna have force abilities, like then yeah, Mando's cool and all. He's got the best car. He's a pretty dang good fighter.
Yeah, all of a sudden they get a force choke.
Yeah, you need someone with the force to. I mean, what's Baby Yoda get? I mean, Baby Yoda is not exactly trained or skilled in fighting, so he can maybe choke one. But then if you've got like a whole room filled with those Dark Troopers, well, I mean,
right, and that's what I'm saying is like, I assume Ahsoka would be able to take them all, but I mean, if Ezra's there and then maybe Sabine is there,
wouldn't that be nice?
Oh man.
Wait,
let me ask you guys a question. I wasn't familiar with this. Kanan is dead, right? Or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Went out in a blaze of glory.
He sacrifices himself in Rebels.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to make sure. Like, he was a cool character because like it wasn't until he was blinded that like he became such a powerful Jedi. Yep, because like he didn't believe in himself until then, like he began, and then all of a sudden he just like, hey, you know what? I'm blind.
I think he saw the Force in a whole new way.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I need to catch up on Rebels then. Like, I'm sorry.
It's good. You'll like it, man. The last season's pretty good, and they talk about Mandalore a little bit more too. At the beginning of season 4.
Sure. Okay.
And what's the other thing that I need to say? Oh yeah, but Kanan's baby mama is still alive.
Ooh.
So
Hera, yeah,
and his kid that somehow got her pregnant within that time. But so
did he use the Force?
Aggressively for sure.
He's like, Kanan, I want you to Force choke me.
Wow. Okay.
And that's the end of the Mandalorian episode.
Switching off a bit for the as far as the introduction, I'm imagining the introduction of Ahsoka now, and if it's a Dave Filoni directed episode, we're probably going to see a giant Loth wolf that Ahsoka's going to be riding on, or it's going to be like part of her guard, like watching. And
or whatever.
We might. I mean, it's been speculated. I mean, we already know Boba Fett's at play,
or Captain Rex
at the end. Yeah, we might see Captain Rex as well.
Well, I'm sorry, that might be a possibility, unless he's dead from old age.
Possibility. I mean, they confirmed in canon that he's there on the Battle of Endor. So and this is just 5 years. So I mean, Captain Rex be loyal to his Jedi commander, Ahsoka Tano, so he could be there as well. I mean, man, you're talking about like all these characters.
How many clones defied the order? There was like 4 or 3.
I'm not sure if there's an exact count, but there's
because the Rex and then like there's 2 other characters.
There's Gregor and Wolf.
Yeah.
So there's 3.
Gregor died. Spoiler alert.
Right. I know, but 3 of them. So there's 3 of them that defied
that we
order,
know
right?
of. That we know
Yeah.
of. You know, they're making the Bad
So far.
Batch series that we don't know anything about yet. You know, I bet you they're going to show more of. Who knows? But you know, we'll see. 4 that we know.
Yeah, I can't wait for chapter 13. Oh my god.
Dude, the next 4 episodes are going to be quite the wild ride, I assume.
Yeah.
So
And then it'd be kind of cool at the very end if Ahsoka says like, I'm gonna train them, and then Mando has to choose, right? And then they have this little party, whatever, goodbye, whatever. So Mando walks alone again like a lone wolf, etc.
mm,
onto his adventures, and then until the end of season 3, when a young child or older child comes into picture, like a Padawan learner.
I'm
Shit!
I'm curious if Ahsoka will be
You never know.
No, I know, but I'm curious if she'll be hesitant to take Baby Yoda away from his adopted father.
Well,
After she
he's
saw what happened with Anakin, I'm curious if she'll be like, he needs to stay with you kind of thing. You know? I don't know.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It would be fun to speculate that, and
That'll be
or
interesting. Or Baby Yoda will tell like Mando, like his first words are gonna be, "This is the way," and then they're gonna be like, "Oh my god!"
it is the way, or I have spoken. I have spoken. Oh, that would be amazing. I would lose my shit if
That would be cool.
if he said I have spoken. Yeah.
Yeah, I would laugh if he spoke for the first time in some deep voice. No, father, I don't want to.
Or something in reverse. Spoken have I.
Cookie I desire. Yeah,
Right.
something like that.
Yeah, I think there's
Spoken I have.
the way this can go. It's open. It has so many potential. It has so much potential.
Yeah.
We will have
Yeah,
to.
I think Pinhead is just like waiting for, like, when shit goes down, like all of a sudden, like, they get a little thing, and then all of a sudden, this is the Enterprise. Do you need assistance? And then fucking, like, all the blasters coming in, and you see like Data just destroying everybody that's force sensitive.
I'm just waiting for them to get to planet Vulcan, so I don't give a fuck until then.
Wow.
There you
All
go.
right,
That's
so-
my man.
Any other thoughts on chapter 12, The Siege?
Okay. So I really like. Gosh, I forgot his name already. Who's Greef Karga again?
Carl
Forgot his
Weathers.
name. Thank you. Carl Williams, as Kuya likes to say, but but no, I really liked his directing. I liked that he paid homage to everything that came before it, and he was really respectful with how he shot it, and he did a really good job. Added some nice classic dialogue from the stormtroopers. I like that too. I like that we're getting more father-son stuff with the child and Mando, and that Mando's actually patient. I think that's fairly cool. Some things that, interestingly enough, this wasn't like my favorite episode. Like it was okay to me, which it seems odd, but because I liked what was it, chapter 10? I think I like chapter 10 more.
Oh,
than
you
this
mean
one.
the episode where you saw Boba Fett?
No, that the filler one with the
the filler one.
spiders. Yeah, it's
Frog
ironic.
baby and
Yeah,
frog eggs. Chapter 10.
yeah. Interestingly enough, I know people. I'm gonna get hate for that, but
The passenger.
yeah. So this one was all right. Where the blue guy is not really my favorite. He seems odd to me sometimes. But he's fun. He's all right. I like seeing more of Gideon. Like he's very much Darth Vader-esque, type of overlord mentality kind of thing.
Yeah.
I also very Tarkin. I like that too. So it's
More
good.
Giancarlo, like in the future.
Definitely more
When
Giancarlo.
those doors
please.
open and he just turns around, he doesn't even say anything. He's just looking, and I'm like,
I know.
holy shit, here we go.
Yeah. The presence alone, man, just
Exactly.
like So he's such a phenomenal actor, dude. I can't give that guy enough credit. He's so good. And I love the teases. Like we're all like, they know what they're doing when they're showing us barely those super soldiers or whatever we're seeing. So with how everything that went down, it was fun. It was exciting. stormtroopers are stupid. I get it, but that speeder bike scene where they're going down the hill was so cool. Even though those idiots crashed, it was still like these guys look so cool. They remind me of like dirt bike riders, that were, I don't know. It was just cool, man. I was super excited. It was really cool seeing the TIE fighter pilots again and the classic deaths, they're like, oh, and they cover their face and stuff, So yeah, I have no idea what's coming next, man. I've been wrong I've been wrong half the time, with what we're gonna see.
Half the time.
I said we were gonna see Boba first episode, so shut up, Kuya.
You said maybe. What if we saw Boba?
Yeah, you said what if,
Oh
man.
my gosh,
And it hasn't been 100% confirmed yet because it could be.
It could be whatever. It could be Captain Rex, or it could be Wolf.
It could be Kuya, but we're just speculating on retarded stuff, so that's fine.
Yeah.
It shouldn't matter. Jester's used to being wrong all the time, so it's business as usual.
Oh, what do you get for being a Carhartt ninja? You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I came back. I'm so glad I came back after that. Just to get hated on.
But be a Hayabusa over here, like.
Screw you guys. All right, I'm done with my love fest of this episode.
All right. Any other thoughts, Pinhead?
No, not really. I thought this is by far the funniest episode. There's too many funny things that happen. I thought it was delirium because I was sick yesterday, but I rewatched the episode and it is pretty funny. It was entertaining.
Yep.
And it couldn't be any more than I expected. I really wish we could get out of this 38-minute bullshit. Like, let's make it stop. Let's please. I don't even have to have that. Let's just make it a solid 42, 43 minutes. Like, stick to something because it's not even a full 38-minute show because you have to take into account the recap and the end credits. So it's not even a full 38 minutes that you're watching the actual series. Right. So let's get it together. Filoni, Favreau, let's get it together and push a little bit harder. Stop being lazy bums and push it a little bit more than that. Like this, if I had a pet peeve with this show, it would be that inconsistency. Just stick with the like even if you stick to the 35 to 38 minute range, then stick to that. Don't change it the next week and make it a 45, 48 minute episode. And then the next week it's 30 minutes. Like, stop doing that. Be consistent. That's all I ask. That's it.
But this is not Game of Thrones. They can't just fill this.
It doesn't have to be Game of Thrones. It doesn't matter.
Hold on.
It doesn't have to be Game of Thrones.
It's as long as it needs to be because Game of Thrones.
That's a cop out bullshit answer.
Well, that's the answer I'm sticking with. Damn it, that's what I'm gonna do.
Well, that's good. That's fine. You can stick with that answer. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be Game of Thrones. The fact of the matter is, it's an episodic television series. It's not a novel. It's not a video game. It's not a movie. It's an episodic TV series, and they should stick with some consistently timeline. It's not that hard. It's not that hard for a series to stick consistently with a certain time frame. It's not that hard. This is the time that it doesn't, it's unacceptable. It doesn't cut it. This is episodic TV. Get behind the fucking line. It's not that hard. That's my only gripe with it. Other than that, they're doing okay.
All right. So, any other thoughts, Kuya?
No, I'm good.
All right. So, I do want to mention, so here on denofgeek.com, there's a bit of other bonus trivia. So I'm surprised that no one has made a meme of this yet or something like, oh my God. It says one of the children in the school has 3 top knots like Rey. This hairdo follows a long tradition of iconic and gravity-defying Star Wars hairstyles. I'm surprised no one said like, oh my God, that's Rey. And then it says here, let's see. So the name of the transport is, the Imperial transport is identified as a Trexler Marauder. So it is a repulsor craft. So yeah, I wanted to make sure I figured out the name.
And I heard there was there's a coffee cup incident because I guess Game of Thrones had that coffee cup incident.
Oh,
right?
yes.
At Starbucks.
Yes, that's a meme now. There's a guy in a polo shirt and a watch and jeans. You can see him in the
Like
back
right behind Carl Weathers or something.
behind
Right?
Greef
Yeah.
Karga. Greef Karga's like firing his blaster, and then the guy, you can see like part of his arm and his leg. And
How
that's
much you want to bet that's John Favreau? How much you want to bet?
No, it's not. It's
No, it's
some
not
crew
John
member
Favreau.
with his hands in his pockets. Like,
Hey, you never know. He might, or it could be Jester like jerking off and oh my god.
I didn't see his hand in his pants. That was not me in that scene. I could swear.
So back again to my theory on why I thought that it was possibly a clone of Snoke, or it could be connected. It mentions
tell.
here the Imperial lab seems to contain strand casts, not clones exactly, but bioengineered organisms. This technology was used to make Supreme Leader Snoke, the decaying body through which Emperor Palpatine manipulated Kylo Ren and ruled the First Order in the sequel trilogy. We know strand casts aren't as easy to work with as clones, and it sounds like Dr. Pershing's experiment is as precarious as the one that created Snoke. But there's no direct connection between the two as far as we know. So not exactly a connection, but then I think it's basically hinting towards that.
Yeah.
When I
I
saw
can
it,
see that.
because it reminded me of that scene in The Rise of Skywalker in the beginning when Kylo Ren goes to that Sith temple, and then of course we see the vat of and then Palpatine is like, my boy, my boy, I hate Snoke. I'm behind everything in the sequel trilogy. Thanks to J.J. Abrams.
We corrected the ship because Star Wars fans hate the different things.
It seems so convenient, but they've had
I have to
plan all
explain
along.
everything within the first 5 minutes of this film to get everybody caught up after the travesty of The Last Jedi.
Yeah. Within a few words, I can explain The Last Jedi out of it. Oh boy. Alrighty. Well, I think that about wraps up our review of The Mandalorian, Chapter 12, The Siege. Looking forward to the next chapter, directed by Dave Filoni. So
the episode is called
Go ahead.
Ahsoka Motherfucking Tano.
That's how she's gonna be introduced, and I'm gonna say like when she appears on screen, I'm gonna say, "Holy Filoni! It's Ahsoka
Motherfucking Tano."
What are you, Robin from Batman now?
Or at least, well, Holy Filoni has been a saying of mine, or not just mine, but like a bunch of other fans that are like, hardcore with the Filoni man himself. So
Well,
for a while now.
I might have to borrow that.
Yeah.
They're so hardcore.
Yep. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, I really enjoyed it, action packed, and I'm not really bothered so much. Just in as far as what Pinhead mentioned, I'm not bothered so much about the short running time, as long as I'm getting a full meal. I'm getting my entree, I'm getting my side, I'm getting my drink, I'm getting my dessert. So I'm good. And by chapter 13, oh man, I'm gonna get a full course meal. And who knows with the next four chapters? I mean, we're gonna get so much. And as Jester mentioned, we've now seen everything in the trailer. So everything that's left, we haven't seen anything of, and we're not going to until the chapters themselves, which I'm totally up for and I love that they're being very secretive. Like, it's just a surprise. Just watch it and just enjoy it. And like, here you go. You want candy? Oh, here's candy. You want cake? Here's your cake. Like, you got everything. Like, it's really amazing. And what it's done to Star Wars fandom, it's managed to unite Star Wars fandom, unlike other things, unfortunately. So, but hey, this is what we need right now. So, and it's a great way to kick off, to end the year that is 2020. So, I mean, Baby Yoda has come to save us all with great memes and comedy. So, alrighty, if you guys are listening to us on Spotify, please make sure to follow the show so it updates you when we upload a brand new episode. And if you are listening to Apple Podcasts, we do appreciate if you could rate and write a review on the show. We'd love to hear your feedback. We'd love to hear what you guys think of the show. We do appreciate every time we hear feedback, but it would definitely help the show if you rate the show on Apple Podcasts and put it into writing for the reviews, because it will help attract other listeners, because we definitely could use more listeners as we continue to build the show. And we definitely appreciate your support. And you can also leave us a voice message on Anchor. We should have the link, the site on the show notes. And if you'd like to follow us on Instagram, you can follow the show at FMANDTB. You can follow me on Instagram at FilmakerMike and on Twitter at JediMike1128. And then if you're listening and you'd like to watch the video of this show, you can search for Jedi Mike on YouTube, and this video will be right there on my channel, and you can watch it.
Please like, please subscribe, and click the notifications.
Yes, thank you. Pinhead.
That's it.
Would you like people to follow you? Pinhead, by the way, Pinhead does these great pre-shows on Instagram Live. So sometimes it's before the podcast recording, sometimes it's after, like the day after, sometimes it's the day before or hours before.
Yeah,
So you need to follow it.
It just depends on when I can get in there. But yeah, just follow my Instagram page, because that's all I do at Pinhead198. I don't care about any other platform. I mean, I have a Facebook, but it's useless to even try using it. So I don't plug it anymore. So just my Instagram page is good enough.
Alrighty, Jester.
Yeah, definitely review the podcast. We would like good criticism with because it will be listened to, and we'll be very excited to read your reviews and other stuff like that. But if you want to just look at what I'm doing, you can follow me on Twitter at SequesterJ, and then on Instagram at the Sequester Jester. I'm mainly on Twitter more, but I post some photos on Instagram, and I like to retweet a lot. So enjoy that stuff. Kuya?
You can follow me on TikTok at Sequester Jester, and I do the little dances.
Doing the dance.
Yeah.
Doing
So, yeah, that's it. Follow the other guys. Don't follow me. I'm worthless. So.
Alrighty. Well, that's it for the show. Thank you guys for listening. We do appreciate your support. Until the next episode, we have spoken.
Goodbye.
Bye.
This is the way.